it's very similar. Like we made 10 days before, and we know perfectly coach, players, but them too. Okay, then it's a tie game, 50% for both teams, and we are with the illusion to take the opportunity to be in the semifinals.
How ready do you feel? Your league has started already, but played a few games. We all know the difficulty of the BCL. So how do you intend to capitalize on this in the game against Zaragoza?
No, we are thinking that we are starting a season, but at the same time fighting for a title. Then the motivation fighting for a title is great in all my players. Then we don't need to make something different, because we are in a moment that we cannot put a lot of new things to prepare some special game. Then we need to move on, do the same things, and play with a great motivation. For us, it's very important to control the rebound and control the points in fast break.
For sure, it's a difficult game, we know, but when you are playing quarterfinals of BCL, you know everything is difficult, no? We played 1 week ago, but I think that is different, completely different. The level of Tenerife is very high. They have a long team, they have a very good point guard, they create, they generate, but I think that we are playing well, we are improving, we are happy with the level of the team, and we will compete.
Last year, pretty much the same team that you're working with this year. Had some impressive performances in one games against teams like Real Madrid, for example. Do you think that this is bringing the level of expectations even higher regarding the way that people go forward?
When you are professional, you have to accept the pressure. And then our fans, our supporters, they want the best for us. And then we have to play as well as we can and as hard as we can. And this is the key. It's normal. We are playing well. The last season, the team played well. We have 18 that they played the last season. It's normal. We have to set, but it's a challenge for us to play with this pressure. It's difficult to know. Maybe the rhythm, no? Who get the rhythm, but not only in offense, defensively rhythm. We will see, because it's a long game, it's completely different, have talent players during the game, we will see, but the rhythm probably is the key. You are welcome.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Athens, Greece. This is the Basketball Champions League Final 8, and it is the fourth quarter final between Casademont Zaragoza and Iberostar Tenerife. Well, the winner already knows the team that wins this game will face Ike, the host of this event, and the winners in year 2 of the Basketball Champions League. But their focus right now is just on getting to that game. And both of these teams know each other very well, have even played, as you heard the coaches talking about it, have already played this season in the Spanish League, a game that was won by Iberostar Tenerife, a tough, close-fought game. You can see the teams that have advanced, Burgos and JDA Dijon winning yesterday, and now Ike dispensing with Nymburk. And now it's all about Zaragoza and Tenerife. And folks, this is exciting stuff. An all-Spanish duel here in Athens. I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Mark Clark. And Mark, you heard the coach talk about Diego Campos saying that first meeting between these two teams, which Tenerife won by 5, it doesn't matter. I mean, that was a while ago. Changes will be made. But no doubt about it, it was probably a confidence-boosting win for Tenerife, who have gotten off to a 3-0 start. And they also won their round of 16 game just to get into the final 8, their round of 16 decider against Ostend. You look at their lineup, Mark, and it's a very talented team led by Marcelino Huertas and Giorgio Shermadini.
Well, that 1-2 punch over the last 2 seasons has been phenomenal. This team won the Intercontinental Cup they're synonymous basically with the Basketball Champions League. They're regularly competing at the back end of it, and any coach who loses a game just before you play another game is going to say it doesn't matter. But what it does do is it means that both coaches have had a great look at each other. Not that they needed to know much more about each other, because obviously being in Spain, they would know each other very, very well. And in some ways, it's more difficult for Tenerife because they won the game. And it's like, well, do they need to change anything? Coach Villarreal will say that they've got better in the last 3 games. Obviously, Zaragoza said, we've learned a lot, we know how to play, we've got better options. One thing that was crucial in that game is that Jason Thompson fouled out after only playing 8 minutes. And, for a player of his pedigree to be missing for most of the game was a huge loss. And it's going to be interesting to see how this Zaragoza team plays, because they've had more changes, they've had a coach change, and therefore it's always going to be difficult, especially with the way that they played last year. They were on a great run at the end of the Basketball Champions League, went on something like a 6-0 run to qualify for the postseason. And Coach Saka, who was in charge at that point, really does stamp his style on a group of players. So it'll be interesting to see how they have probably got more scope to develop from that loss that they had in CB. The other thing that was really interesting in that game is that only 7 points came off the Tenerife bench. Their starters scored all but 7 points. It's a little bit misleading to say Zaragoza has got great contribution off their bench, because both Innes and Benzing came off the bench in that game, and they had a good performance from Rodrigo San Miguel. So there's all sorts of things you can look at in that game, but what the most important thing to say about these two teams, they know each other so well. There's not any surprises on the floor. Like an ACB game, it will come down to who executes the best. And you've got to say that Tenerife, with Marcelino Huertas at the point, always start these types of games on the front foot, because they know the quality they have at the point, and he can make people around him so much better.
Well, absolutely. Well said, Mark. Huertas just going to go down as one of the all-time greats in Brazilian basketball and probably Spanish basketball for what he's been able to achieve with Baskonia, here with the Iberostar Tenerife, and his time with Barcelona. Wherever he's been, he has won. And as you mentioned, he's already won the FIBA Intercontinental Cup with this team, and he would like to tick another box by getting a title in the Basketball Champions League. And you saw Rodrigo San Miguel warming up, and it doesn't seem like it was that long ago that actually he was out there on many occasions leading the way for Iberostar Tenerife as they won the title, the inaugural title. But now he plays for the enemy, so I'm sure he has a lot of good insight into this team. But I think the mere fact, Mark, that Iberostar Tenerife have players, and as a club, they've been there, they've done it, they know what it takes to win. I think they probably start with the advantage, and we'll see. Maybe there's less pressure on Zaragoza because of that. And don't forget as well that Bogris and Dornekamp also were in that initial team for Iberostar Tenerife, and they have come back to play for them.
And I think that those players back, extra depth. I think you've just got 2 very high-quality ACB teams. Therefore, we're going to have a high-quality game. In most ACB games, the other thing that's key for me is that Tenerife turned over Zaragoza 20 times, and that's a really high number for an ACB game. Yeah, they gave up 16 of their own. So both teams know how to really generate mistakes in the opposition when these teams have played each other. So I expect this is going to be ACB basketball, no quarter asked or given. It's going to be very physical, very technical, and it'll come down to decisions, and it'll come down to how many stops you get. This guy, Fittipaldo, who ironically was one of the stars for Burgos last year, had a phenomenal game against Zaragoza, and that was a way that he announced himself with his move to Tenerife. So it's just everywhere you look on the floor, both teams have real positives, have real opportunity, and have real places they can exploit. Who makes the best decisions? And I would shade it for Tenerife, because Huertas has been there, done it. There's no stage he has not performed on. And his relationship with Giorgi Shamadini is almost telepathic. And those two are the basis for any Tenerife winning performance.
Well, we've really got to give a shout out to the production of this. I love the introductions, the player introductions in front of their videos as they come out. I mean, you know, it's a frustration for everybody that fans can't be here, but you could just see the professionalism, the effort that has been made to make this the special event, the special Final Eight that it already has become. And so thumbs up to everybody that's been involved with that. I'm really excited. I've probably been more excited about this game than any of the games because, you know, these teams have traded blows before. And, of course, we've seen so many of these Iberostar Tenerife players shine over the years for their national teams, for this Iberostar Tenerife club. I think Zaragoza, though, you know what? If you want to really have a signature win as a team, if you can knock off Iberostar Tenerife and somehow go on to claim the title here in Athens, boy, that would be huge for Zaragoza basketball. So a lot at stake. And, of course, you got to make it one step at a time. And I'm sure that Chus Vidareta and Diego Campo reminding their players, hey, listen, let's just don't look too far ahead. Let's just focus on what's in front of us.
That's so right. That is the most important thing. There's so many cool storylines that you can get when two teams know each other so well. It is about playing every possession. It is about coming down the floor and getting what you want every single time down the floor. Don't even look to the second, don't look to the third, don't look to the end of the game. Play this one possession at a time. And Coach Vidareta and Tenerife, with their Intercontinental Cup win, their regular appearances in both winning and being in the final of the Basketball Champions League, they've been in this environment before. And fans will know facts. It's a pressure environment, and they've proved they can execute in that environment. But this team have great experience. Robin Benzing right in the middle of the shot. Many, many games for the German national team, World Cups, Euro baskets. You know, what he hasn't seen, you don't need to know. He's seen every level of basketball, and Zaragoza have quality as well, top to bottom.
There's San Miguel. We talked about him having played for Iberostar Tenerife. You know, and you're talking about Zaragoza players with experience. As you see Rashid Suleiman come out, used to be on the books of Dijon. So that's another interesting one. You know, down the road, who knows? Maybe those teams could meet. But they've also got Nicolas Persino, the Argentina international who played in the FIBA Basketball World Cup final last year in China for Argentina. So you're talking about high-level players for both teams. Here's Persino, and you know, of course, he played in the NBA, just has followed in that rich tradition of great Argentina players that have had stops in Spain, and who knows how far his career will end up going. So Robin Benzing as well, you mentioned him. We are just minutes away from the start of what really does promise to be a thrilling quarterfinal. Chus Vidareta, you know what, sometimes the expectations are so high for Tenerife. They've won the final in year one. They finished runners-up in Antwerp in the last edition. In the second year they made it to the playoffs, but were knocked out by Murcia, interestingly. So remember, it was another Spanish team that ended their run. But they are definitely, you know, when you think about the Basketball Champions League, you think about Iberostar Tenerife. But this Zaragoza team, as you see Tryggvi Helensson, the Icelandic international coming out, they have really had a great season, and they don't want it to stop here. So 5 minutes away.
Sorry, Jeff.
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, the other thing about Spanish basketball is that both these teams have been up and down, and Tenerife a relatively new organization in the longest, bigger scheme of things, have come through the LEB leagues. The depth of Spanish basketball, obviously, you know, fans will see the national team, but from the ACB all the way down to their EBA league, their young player coming through, it's a structure that's just phenomenal, and it's demonstrated by having 3 teams in the Final 8.
So Manuel Mazzoni, the crew chief in the middle from Italy. Alexander Glizic as well in his second game of the night. And Saverio also from Italy. So another experienced refereeing crew for tonight's game, Saverio Lanzarini. So a couple of Italians and a Serbian calling the shots here in Athens. So as a reminder, everyone, As we look at the starting fives, Bruno Fittipaldi,
Wow.
you mentioned he played for Burgos this season, but in the summer he joined Iberostar Tenerife. Shermadini, the star 5 member, Alex Lopez, Tyler Cavanaugh, and Aaron Dornekamp, another of those players who won the title in year 1. He went to play for Valencia, and now he has come back to play. But so much attention on this man right here, Marcelinho Huertas.
Well,
just a tremendous,
Jeff doesn't start,
player.
does he? Doesn't start. Again, we saw, both of us were fortunate enough to see the last 16 game. He didn't start, did he, in that game at home, the decider against Ostend? And you got to say, they didn't really look great. They didn't look like they were in rhythm until he came into the game. So it's obviously something that Coach Videoretta's looking at as we see him, the Batman and Robin, should we say, combo with Giorgi Shermadini. That his combination with Huertas has been fundamental for Coach Videoretta. It's interesting to see this rotation option that Videoretta's looking at with Huertas not starting.
It is indeed. We also have seen other star players for other teams come off the bench as well. So in many respects, it's not who starts, but it's who finishes. Absolutely right.
Absolutely right. Too many players, Jeff, get very caught up with starting the game. You're right. It ends up who's finishing the game. But there's the starters for Zaragoza. And I want to see the impact of Jason Thompson. He's a veteran player, first-round draft pick. And I think he had 8 minutes in the ACB game, fouling out with 5. Now, that may have been coming into the ACB, not adjusting to the way the game is officiated, but he's had 3 or 4 weeks. So I think his contribution could be a big difference maker. The second of the Innes brothers, Jeff, making an appearance in this final 8. Hopefully for Dylan, it's going to end in a little bit more positive way than it did for his brother yesterday with that narrow loss for Turk Telecom.
Yeah, he made the second team for the Basketball Champions League, the Star 5. And there's Brasino. We've spoken about him. He has the capacity to be anonymous in a game, but he also has the capacity to take over a game. So I'm guessing that Iberostar Tenerife are hoping it's the former as he comes out tonight. Diego Ocampo, again, has had a few different stops at different leagues, and when Porfirio Fizek decided it was time to move on, he's moved on to Gran Canaria. Ocampo was the man given the task of coaching this Zaragoza team. So just as a reminder, the 2019-2020 season of the Basketball Champions League was halted in March because of the coronavirus pandemic. And the Basketball Champions League, after lengthy talks and meetings, and everybody knows how difficult the situation has been in every aspect of our lives, made the decision to have a final 8, and then they awarded it to Athens. They had to have a couple of round of 16 Game 3 deciders played, both of which were won by Dijon, who have advanced to the semifinals with their victory over Turk Telecom, and also Iberostar Tenerife. They won against Ostend to get into the final 8. And this is also why we still do not have fans for safety reasons. But to be quite honest, Mark, the action has been great. And it has been an absolute joy to watch some live basketball again and to see these guys come out. It's early in the season, some changes, some important roster changes, yet you know what? When you have a chance for a European title, you got to be ready to go. And players like Huertas, he wants to tick this box off in his career.
Well, you're absolutely right. You don't get many opportunities, be it September, October, or when they normally get decided around the May and April time. So it's a big opportunity, and especially for people like Huertas, who could sign off towards the end of their career, not trying to write him off because he's playing so well. But to finish with a championship, like he's always been playing for a championship throughout his career, is going to be, it'll be a great way for the great player to finish or to close out his career.
Okay, the winner of this game between Iberostar Tenerife and Zaragoza will advance to face Ike in the semifinals of the Basketball Champions League. Well, good evening, folks. If you're just joining us, this is the fourth quarterfinal of the Basketball Champions League between Iberostar Tenerife and Zaragoza. Zaragoza in the red, and Iberostar Tenerife, the champions in year one, wearing the dark uniforms and winning the opening tip. Tyler Kavanaugh comes right out, puts up his shot and misses, and Seeley grabs the board and hands it off to San Miguel, the Tenerife champion in year one, who now plays with Zaragoza. Benzing has the great reputation as a scorer, but misses with his first attempt. Fittipaldo drives in, nobody picks him up.
That's a super decision by Fittipaldo. No one helped. It's an early ball screen, so defensively not organized enough to try and show hard, and he really exploited the advantage.
Thompson, well, he's got the size, but he's also got the touch.
He's going to be desperate to play well after that first ACB game where he was just no factor.
Fittipaldo, I don't think he really played that great in the round of 16 decider, but again, he just needs games. We know his quality. Lopez misses from deep. Here comes Thompson showing his ball handling skills, and wisely picks it up. San Miguel with a bounce pass into Thompson, puts it up and in.
I was hopeful for Zaragoza that Thompson would, be adjusted and play well. I think he could be a difference maker. He's so strong in there. He's got great touch. That's a quick whistle.
Yeah, that really was. Dornekamp hands the ball back off, and watch what he does.
I can only
Called
think
the travel. I think they said he may have shuffled his feet ever so slightly. Brasino looks down low. Of the two teams, you would think that a good start would be more important for this Zaragoza team as they try to settle in.
I would agree, Jeff.
At least that's how I view it.
No, I 100% agree, because Tenerife have been here before. That if they start a little slowly, they know it's just a game. They can work their way through it. But if Zaragoza get down early, the situation, they might start playing the situation and not the game.
Another miss by Benzing. He's such a good shooter. I think he probably has the green light in almost any situation. Here's Fittipaldo with a little runner. And again, Thompson, boy, with those long arms and big hands. There was only one player that was going to get a rebound there. And it's interesting that with Shermadini, usually he towers over the player guarding him, but not tonight.
No. And Thompson has an athletic advantage and a quickness advantage. I think it's going to, when they've been banging in the posts early, Shermadini can't really establish position. This will be interesting right now.
And Shermadini goes old school, misses. Now Seeley. Is he going to go all the way? He's going to be fouled by Lopez. Also a little interesting tonight that Sasu Saline wasn't in the starting lineup.
Exactly, yeah.
And we talked about Huertas not being in there. And you wonder, I guess, Vidareta is not too concerned at this stage. But how long would he wait before he brings in not just Huertas, but Saline?
Yeah, Jeff, the Tenerife's offense has been built around those three in so many ways for so long. But having two components missing, they look a little disjointed at the moment.
San Miguel puts it on the deck. Would not really describe him as offensive minded, but he will take the odd jump shot, and I would never describe him as the first option, especially when you've got a player like Brasino and also Benzing out there.
That's nice
Now
recognition
Brasino.
when they got the switch, and Brasino had to foul because I think Shermadini would have got too easy an option, catches it deep. Well, there you go, Jeff. It's not long. Yeah, not long before he comes in.
Well, he just gives him that firepower, doesn't he? He's already going to try to stretch the D, and now nice move rolling into the lane by Shermadini. Ooh, almost dragged his foot there, Thompson.
A long way.
Benzing pulls up and finally gets one to drop. DePaldo gets it to the Canadian Dornekamp, who hands it off to Shermadini, and he got Brasino off his feet, and the whistle blows, and a second foul has been called, I believe, on Brasino.
It's great execution. Tremendous offense by Tenerife. They explored options and ended up with a really nice finish. And they got the added bonus of Brasino going to the bench. Yep.
That has to be frustrating for Ocampo, because you've got Brasino, who's arguably your most dangerous weapon offensively, and he hasn't even attempted a shot, but he's picked up 2 fouls. Thompson does not corral the rebound. Dornekamp swoops in to take it away. Shermadini being very positive here, being pushed. Oh, he goes to the left hand. Are you kidding me?
Jeff, it's never too late to learn. You know, it's like Shermadini's like adding stuff to his game at 31 years old. He still wants to be that player that gets better. Oh.
There's some quality for Benzing. Puts his team right back in front. Salin, his first attempt, and he tickles the twine. The Susiyengi sharpshooter from Finland. Now Benzing with a layup, they give it away, and he just says, if you're going to give it to him, I'm going to take it. Dylan Ellis down on the low blocks, having replaced Brasino. Keep an eye on him as well. Here's Dornekamp. He's open. And a foul as the team scrapped for the rebound. And sure enough, the foul is going to be on Tenerife. Is it Shermadini? So Diaz also comes in for Kavanaugh. And the foul was indeed on Shermadini. And powerful move, but a charge has been called on Thompson. Well, Thompson certainly looks like he's ready to go, doesn't he? What do you think about that, Mark?
I'm not sure it's a charge. I know that he was never established, and he was in the circle. But all the contact was initiated by Thompson, but I'm not sure about the charge.
Yeah, that's why they called it. Here's Linison. The Icelandic had a sensational 2019-2020 campaign for Zaragoza, coming off the bench. A lot of energy, a lot of rebounding, block shots, and dunks. Ennis guarding Dornekamp. Still a Canadian. Now Diaz gets it to drop.
No, for any guys watching now, the movement on the perimeter is not complicated, it's just very intelligent. They can always see the ball, they can always spot up. And it's just so easy to play. When you penetrate, you know you'll have an option to kick. And you just called it well, but Wesson is just off the bench on the glass. He's strong, he's fighting for things. So many people on both teams who can really contribute. I love the movement, though. The movement makes the pass easy.
Here's Bogris. Had an outstanding campaign in the inaugural season, the Basketball Champions League. But meanwhile, Benzing finds space and scores another layup to tie it up. And good defense. Diaz turns it over, and you can see it's going to be a nervous ride tonight for Iberostar Tenerife. Diaz pushing off, clearing out with his left arm. Suleiman also in the game now for the first time. Hands it off to Lennison. Little jump hook, and earns a trip to the line. And I mean, quite clearly, you never would have suggested that they would be intimidated, but they really look like they're ready to go at Tenerife, don't they?
Well, I think when Coach Ocampo talks about the previous game not being that meaningful, it's meaningful because he's in the locker room telling him that they've got to use that game. They've got to use the fact they lost their opening game of the ACB season, how they lost it, how Thompson wasn't a factor because he fouled out. He'd have been in his head to try and get him focused, and they've come out here with some real purpose, and they're definitely engaged in this one.
Well, Lennison misses both free throws. Lennison actually played for Chus Figueredo when he was the coach at Valencia. Huertas in the game for the first time. Gets it to Dornekamp, who drives, leaves his feet, and the ball knocked out of bounds by Zaragoza.
Dornekamp almost looked like he was not sure whether he was going to shoot this or pass this, and in the end he did neither. Unfortunately, comes off the head, and they retain possession. Only 5 seconds left on the possession though.
Saline catch and misses everything late in the shot clock. Probably had more time than he realized. Suleiman to Ennis. He backs up Saline. Some help from Bogris, and he gets it to the big thunderous Lennison for the dunk. Boy, how about that for some authority? He's deceptive, isn't he, Mark Lennison?
Why? That wasn't the finish. I thought he was just going to go up and just lay it in, but with some authority, with some athleticism. Great hands as well, because one of those wraparound passes, sometimes you don't see the ball till it's quite late. So the big man has to have his hands up, and he did that. Becomes a feature of the offense.
Suleiman goes down the lane, scores with a runner. Good pass from Bogris out to the corner, but the shot is missed and by Lopez, and nevertheless, foul has been called.
I know he found the nice, but Jeff, he was wide open, Bogris. No one between him and the ring. He could have just literally laid it in soft even for the two, but Tenerife have this tendency to want to shoot a lot of threes. Inside, outside is a normal option for him. And, you know, as a big man, you have it hammered into you. You get it if they find the man on the perimeter. But he literally could have just walked that in to make it a 2-point game. But they missed the three. Now they're down 5. And that's great contribution off the bench. Lennison has come in, rebounded, run the floor, boxed out. He's been a real positive factor in only a few minutes on the floor.
Yeah, Livingston missed his first 2 free throws, but there he takes a deep breath and makes both, and takes the lead now to its biggest of the game for Zaragoza, 6 points. Salim tried to get it right back. Now Sealy pulls up mid-range, and Bogarus comes in for the board. And wow, Lopez called for the charge.
Got to take your hat off this Zaragoza team, because the help has been good. They've stayed in stance. That's the 3rd offensive foul they've drawn. And you said that they come out of here strong, and they really have, defensively making a real statement right from the opening tip, and really do have the momentum early.
Final 30 seconds here being played in the first quarter. Sealy hands it off to Livingston, who goes up, and this time great play by Lopez to knock it away. Lopez didn't have the ball up.
Zaragoza still have the 1 foul to give.
Yep, good point. See if they commit it. Pump fake, Salim, no, he finds space. And I'm pretty sure Coach Ocampo is going to remind him on the bench. We had the foul to give. Exactly, that's the motion that he makes. We should have fouled. You can't allow a player like Salim to get space.
Man, it's not as if they wouldn't have seen that play. It's a late in game, late in shot clock play that Tenerife have used very successfully between Huertas and Salim. So.
Well, at the end of one, it's Casademont Zaragoza leading at 20-17 over Iberostar Tenerife.
Well, neither team really breaking records from the 3-point line, but it's clear, Tenerife, with the 9 3-point attempts, they are going to shoot the 3 ball a lot. And the way that they share it, they normally get a lot of open looks. So at some point, they will score them in a hurry. But you've got to love the way Zaragoza came out, made a statement with their defense. Thompson obviously is going to want to play well with the 8 minutes of play and 5 fouls from game 1 in the ACB. But little matchup with Shermandini starting to develop, so there are little individual battles all over the floor. But you've got to get the first quarters to Zaragoza, and that man, Robin Benzing, has been instrumental. He's a scorer, and he knows his role. He's going to play a lot of minutes, and he started really well.
Well, just as a reminder, folks, this is the Basketball Champions League Final 8. It is the 4th quarter final, and it's being played between Casademont Zaragoza and Iberostar Tenerife. Already another Spanish club has reached the semifinals when San Pablo Burgos beat Hapoel Jerusalem in the first game of the Final 8. And they will actually go up against JDA Dijon, who dispensed with Turk Telecom. Meanwhile, the winner of this Spanish clash will advance to face Ike, who have won earlier tonight against Nymburk. But a lot of basketball to be played here tonight, and in some respects, would you describe this as a chess match, Mark, or is it more of a case of just throw them out there and let them play?
No, I think your first statement is by far the closest to it. Both teams running a lot of half-court offense. In particular, what's Tenerife? Their movement away from the ball is got a lot of purpose players coming off of 2-3 screens. They've got shooters they want to release, and they've got no better man than Huertas at the point to get the ball to the right man. Zaragoza are a little bit more direct. I mean, Innes in particular, even Benzing's putting it on the floor. But still, both teams. The ACB is a technical league, and these two teams are putting on a show of how to play the game.
Suleiman. You know, it's interesting also, we talk about depth and how crucial that is, and you can't have any drop-offs when you take your starters off. And I think both of these clubs, but especially Zaragoza have shown they've got a lot of quality coming from the bench. Fittipaldo back in the game, gets it over to Dornekamp, who gets the baseline and goes in and scores with a reverse layup.
Well, I was just about to say that Zaragoza, literally, it's man on man. You know, they're playing one-on-one defense. Their control of the ball was very good, but then Dornekamp with a nice baseline move, the reverse layup. There's not a lot of help out there. They're putting a lot of pressure on the man guarding the ball.
Well, San Miguel back in the game and launching the three. Now Shermadini again with a hook shot.
Wow.
Look at Bogers, how badly he wants it. Shermadini facing a big opponent. He's gone to the hook shot of luck tonight. Oh, rattling it in from three-point range. Dylan Ennis. Huertas. How many times did we see him bank in that shot almost automatic in the round of 16? Ennis again, this time a little short. Good hustle though from Casademont Zaragoza to get it back. That was Barredo. Suleiman explodes, puts it up. Lennison got his hand on the ball, and Huertas, the ball falls to him. Huertas finds Shermadini.
What a pass. He just threw it there. He knew Shermadini was going to be there. He just put it for him to cut to. That's probably the difference between these two teams. Is their ability to share the ball.
reaches in. Or who was it that came up with a steal? Good hustle back by Zaragoza. Quick hands. It was Fittipaldo who came up with the steal.
Yeah.
Kavanaugh comes back. He's starting to sense maybe Iberostar Tenerife turning it up a notch. Huertas again to Shermadini. Fittipaldo back to Salin. Kavanaugh with the rebound. Looked like one of the Zaragoza defenders just put Salin off the shot, but then nobody gets Huertas as he goes right down the lane.
Just scored him. They thought they were being cute defensively. They played the screen. He just said, I don't need the screen. No help. I'm going to go to the bucket.
Well, Lennison fouled going in for the dunk. They want to make him earn it at the line. Oh yeah, that was a no doubt about it. Foul by Huertas.
Interesting part of the game, Jeff, with 6:42 to go to the half, because as you say, Tenerife, you're feeling that they're getting the rhythm of game that they like. It's early, it's not rushed, it's not necessarily primary options on the break. It's getting into sort of some secondary things coming out of the initial stage of the fast break. And they move the ball so well, and they just create before the defense is set. That's the sort of way they get their rhythm going. And they're doing a nice job at the moment getting that.
Wow, Fittipaldo, the Uruguayan international, looking like he's really polished up his game in the past few weeks. San Miguel into the corner. Suleiman tries to bring a little bit of rain. Now Huertas. This is where he's dangerous. Open floor. Kavanaugh on the low block. Turns. Hands it off to Shermadini. And Ocampo has got to reset his defense.
See, again, they get it down low early in the set. The defense isn't organized. The help comes, but no one's going to help the helper, and Shermadini gets the easy 2. It's that sort of 6 to 10 to 12 seconds into the shot clock that they're still moving before the defense is set. Let's just listen to a campo.
Here, 1-1. Spend on foul. Here, spend on foul. And we don't play aggressive. We are waiting how they score. Mira, coño. We are stopping here, and we need to move the ball. We need to move the ball much more. But the question is defensively. Go here, go in front. 1-1 Johnny. 1-1 Johnny. Second 1-1. It's 1-1. Stop the 1-1 defense. When he stops, you have to stop. Venga, use the foul. Be aggressive. No reject, guys. No reject. Yeah, let them go on the screen. Press breaker. DJ inbounder. Rodri. Y Dylan. Yep. Estás aquí, Johnny.
Well, fairly animated Coach Ocampo, Jeff, and he's doesn't like the fact his team is playing passively, and obviously let them know. But I think the other thing is that's interesting, he asked for a lot more ball movement, and I think the difference between the two teams at the moment is the fact that Zaragoza is a lot of dribble, a lot of attack on the dribble, without really moving the basketball, whereas Tenerife want to move it, then attack, whether it be on pass or dribble penetration. So it's just that little subtle difference, and Tenerife basketball at the moment is just about getting in the ascendancy.
Shermadini rebounds it, and Tenerife with a chance to increase their lead. Oh, the alley-oop attempt to Shermadini. Now Zaragoza look to strike quickly the other end, and it's San Miguel. 4-point swing there, Mark.
Oh, absolutely. They went for the highlight play, and I think he was asking quite a lot of Shermadini, just overpassed it. But you really do. The feel of the game is a little bit more of a Tenerife-type game.
Well, you're right. With that Casademont three-pointer now taking the lead to 15 points.
Just sharing the ball a little better than Zaragoza. This is the time when you've really got to trust each other, share the basketball, and create for each other, and not just do everything on the dribble.
Casademont keeps it alive, and now Zaragoza get it back. And Ennis strokes the mid-range jumper. A long way to go. Tenerife seem to have that focus. They know they're up for a real fight tonight. And Zaragoza just wanting to put the clamps on them right now. They need to focus defensively on what they're doing. Fittipaldo, well, he had his opportunity. Benzing, oh, beautiful bounce pass. Good help from Fittipaldo, and fouls without giving up the free throws. I don't know, maybe they're going to give him the shots.
I'd give him shots. I don't think Thompson was doing anything apart from rolling to the hoop, so I think the officials have given him that. And look like at the game, Jeff. Yeah, I'm not sure. I do think he was on his way to the hoop, just hadn't collected the ball cleanly, was fouled. But this is physical at the moment. Yet both teams are so disciplined. Only one team foul each, and we've only got 4 minutes to go. It's as we said, it's an ACB game where the defense is strong. There's a lot of people bump a lot, and no surprises in the game. What we've got is just a high-quality game with a lot at stake.
Yeah, we've got a humdinger or a barn burner. Thompson makes good on his first attempt.
Thompson looks like a really good addition to this Zaragoza lineup. Now he's actually not in foul trouble as he was in the first game of the ACB season against Tenerife. Obviously he's had a great career. Arrives in Zaragoza from China, so
he and Lennison have combined for 12 points tonight, which is what Shermadini has for Tenerife. Huertas. Well, look at that. Just considering his options all the way until the very end when he decided to take the shot. He was almost going to pass. Sealy. Back over to San Miguel. Had no choice, and he drills the three-pointer right before the expiration of the shot clock. And just like that, we've got a tie ball game again. Huertas, this time a little short. Thompson over to Sealy. Look at Thompson run the floor. Oh, Lopez goes down like a sack of wheat as he was getting close to the ball handler, to Sealy. I think that was more Lopez wanting to go down anyway for his troubles. He picks up his third foul. Oh, beautiful little over-the-shoulder pass from San Miguel to Thompson. No panic for Zaragoza. Ocampo calls the timeout. They return to action, and here they are in the lead.
Yeah, and San Miguel's having a really tremendous half of basketball. He shot the ball well. His penetration there was with purpose. They had to guard it. They had to stop it. His awareness was great. Nice find on the assist. And yeah, he's obviously playing against his old club. It's obviously it has a little bit extra meaning, but he's having a great one. And he has led the Zaragoza team back to the two-point lead. I think we're going to have so many lead changes here, Jeff. I think it's going to be one of those games with Thompson going 9 and 5 in the first half. He's a factor, and he's making a huge difference to the way this game is being played.
I think with San Miguel, what you really want is defense and his ball handling, and not the first option shooting. But here's Dornekamp. Anything you get offensively from him is a bonus, at least from a scoring standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely right. And he had double-digit points off the bench in the game that Zaragoza lost.
Here he is again, and that time going hard at Huertas. 2:17 remaining in the first half, and the foul on Benzing. But I think, with Diego Ocampo, he has to be happy with how his team has responded coming out of the timeout.
Coach Vidiaretta has a point here, Jeff, because Benzing fouled, to an intents and purposes, fouled off the ball with a hold. So I'm not really sure how that's a basketball action either. But I thought that he's quite right to ask the question. He may ask it too long. I'm sure Mr. Glizic will explain that. Okay, I've heard what you said, but let's just move on. I think coaches, with Coach Vidiaretta's experience, must go to that shrug the shoulders school. They all shrug their shoulders in exactly the same way, Jeff. They're pleading with the official.
Oh, Fittipaldo fouled while attempting the three-pointer. That's how well he's been playing tonight. Zaragoza wanting to get up in his grill. Watch this again, Suleiman.
It's a little ticky-tack type foul, but he did take him, did touch him on the way down. So
tell you, who would want to be a referee? Every decision you make is going to be questioned.
And we get the chance to look at that from about 5 different angles as well, and we still get it wrong. Those guys are trying to get it right at the time. I think it's great that we get to see those discussions on those reviews as well, because you see what they're trying to consider, and they're trying to consider that in real time. So you're right, who would be a referee? But then again, these guys are challenged by it, and they do a super job, and they get to the top of their profession. So they need to be recognized, and these guys who get appointed to these games do get that recognition. So I'm sure they'd like to remain anonymous, though, Jeff. I'd like to be, they'd like to be anonymous, wouldn't they? That's their aspiration, though.
Well, that's what you would hope they would want to be. And now look at that, Zaragoza opportunistically get the ball back and end up with a layup.
Great effort. Great effort.
And that is the word, really. It's all about effort now. A little bit of carelessness by Iberostar Tenerife. Was it Huertas that turned it over?
On that one, I'm not sure if it was Huertas who turned it over, but he was involved in the lead up to it when he just got sloppy with it.
Fittipaldo.
Fittipaldo turned it over, but second successive play where Zaragoza are on the floor, coming up with a positive. Here's the first one that leads to the layup. That's just outwork your opponent time.
Yeah, I think you said it all. I think it's effort. I mean, it doesn't matter how much skill you've got, how much talent. You know, effort is what you need. Number one, more important than anything else. Saline feels the defense, misses the shot. Ball goes out of bounds, and it's going to remain at this end. And interesting, as times get tough, Shermadini comes back into the game.
Yeah.
Now Shermadini. Is he going to face help? He's going to give it back to Saline. Saline, that's a 2 if it goes. You know, he must be thinking automatically, I need to get behind the 3-point line, but then he realized, I'm wide open, I need to take this.
Yeah, yeah. He releases
his instinct is to get behind that arc.
Yeah. Instinctively, normally knows where it is as well, but he just releases the ball super quick.
Oh, beautiful. The drive did not fall, and now Tenerife's turn to try to go back in front. And Saline goes down hard after the collision with San Miguel. Setting the pick. Well, so Chus Vidareta calls timeout here with 33 seconds remaining, wants to draw up the plays. And really every possession in a game like this is crucial, isn't it?
Doesn't matter if it's just before half time, the last play of the game. Jeff, we've talked about this already. I think that this is going down to the wire. And every possession is absolutely crucial. And those effort plays, therefore, become even more important. That extra little layup that they get just because of the hard work, absolutely key. You know, both teams doing a good job getting the ball inside. That's always important in these games to get the balance. Obviously, with Shermadini, Tenerife are going to throw it inside a lot. But Thompson's done a really nice job with his 8 points for Zaragoza. So both teams looking to attack the basket. Both teams shooting the ball well. Both teams putting some defense on the floor. You know, it's got all the components. We're going to be tight at the half. And this one is every possession counts, as you say.
Well, think about this one for the next dead ball, or even if we have time here, you know, how do these teams measure up against Burgos, who we were so impressed by last night?
That's it's a different style, isn't it? Both teams, these guys play very controlled basketball. They run lots of really nice sets, whereas Burgos want to keep the game very quick They want to shoot the ball early, want to run the floor. They got guys who want to score from all sorts of areas on the. I think that if any of these teams come up against Burgos in the final, you got that contrast in styles that make one-off games fascinating.
So Huertas has the basketball, lets it fly at the line. Nobody's able to get a body on Shermadini, who just gets the easiest of tap-ins. And in this first half has shown why he has been named one of the top 5 players in the Basketball Champions League this season.
Love the defense.
Sealy from 3. Dornekamp doesn't have quite enough time to launch it. So with Shermadini's putback, Iberostar Tenerife move in front 40-39 at halftime here in the final quarterfinal, the last quarterfinal here in the Basketball Champions League in Athens.
Well, I think both the sets of stats just reflect the level of game, and only 4 trips to the free throw line for Tenerife, which is an interesting number. They've attacked the basket well. Shermadini's got a lot of touches. You'd expected a little more. Everything else is pretty much level across the board, as you'd expect with a 39-40 game. I do like the way that Shermadini's getting lots of touches, and he's been challenged by Thompson, but he's responded to that, and he's getting lots of touches. He's got the hook shot going. He's working on the glass. And as always, he's got a great engine as well, Shermadini. Extended minutes are not a problem. And when he's got Huertas on the floor, he's getting a lot of nice touches. That's good, but balance from Zaragoza as well. Thompson's done a really nice job.
Well, we'll let you have a look at some of these best plays from the first half. And another interesting stat, really, Mark, 8 points off turnovers for Iberostar Tenerife. Zaragoza have not scored any points off turnovers, and points in the paint. The advantage, obviously, with Shermadini playing so well. 22-16 for Tenerife, and 8 second chance points to 4 for Casademont Zaragoza. So Iberostar Tenerife winning that category as well. But if you are Zaragoza, if you're Zaragoza, would you settle for this position before the game? I would think so.
I would think so. I would say you're in the game at the half. You've got contributions out. Maybe Robin Benzing is a scorer and is a key part of this Zaragoza lineup. But he's 4 from 8 from the floor. He's got 9 points. He leads their scorers. That wouldn't be something that I'd have expected to see. But as I said before, Thompson to me is given that extra offensive options for Zaragoza that they wouldn't have expected to perhaps have in a matchup against Tenerife with Shermadini on the inside. Thompson's done a really nice job. And so with him and Benzing scoring 18 of the 39 points, they're getting a lot of output from the 4 and the 5 spot. And San Miguel's had a nice half for them as well. So they got contributions across the roster. The other thing that's a positive for them is they managed to get through that first half with Brasino still on the 2 fouls. Obviously, he only played 4.5 minutes, but he's been no factor on the game apart from the 2 fouls. So that's a plus for Zaragoza. Yeah, it's too close to call because these teams know each other so well, and the level is just phenomenal.
Well, now we get a chance to look at the top scores for both teams, and we've talked a lot about Shermadini. He had his challenge tonight with Thompson for Zaragoza, and Shermadini, well, he must have been practicing because he goes with his right hook shot, and then he goes to his left, and he's really done a terrific job. And this is what he wants to do as well. He wants to roll into the paint, and even as he does it, it's, well, I don't want to say he's unstoppable, but really, in some respects, he is unstoppable if he's going to hit that hook shot.
When he gets that deep, if they don't take the space away, if they don't jam down and take away the opportunity to curl to the middle, that's a tough shot to deal with. I mean, you've seen him grow in the ACB for so many years now, and he's still getting better. But the matchup on the inside with Thompson is a joy to watch. 9 points for Thompson, 3 from 3 from the floor. Sorry, 3 from 3 from the line and 3 from 4 from the floor. And Thompson, yeah, if he gets up to 16, 18 points in the game, yeah, it's going to give Zaragoza a real chance, because that's not where they're used to scoring points against Tenerife in the 5 spot.
And interestingly, you can see the images of Brasino out there. He's been a non-factor because of the 2 early fouls. He's somebody that could go off in the second half. I'm really intrigued to see what something different. Both of these coaches are going to be trying to think of something different, a new wrinkle maybe to introduce in that second half.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, Jeff. I know we can pick that up after these top plays.
Running with a rebound, and now Telecom passes Bond. Get push. Alley-oop. Oh, baby! It is a high-flying show from the team from Germany. They're throwing everything up. They're putting on a show.
Chance to run here for Randirumar. They push. Great push. Nice pass. Super finish. And Yilmaz gets the 2.
Hurt them if they come back and score, but Holston makes up for the mistake. Gets the steal. Julien takes it in. Big hit. And the finish from Axel Julien.
Booker has it knocked away. Pickett, pocket pick. Oh, what a block. Spiked that one against the backboard. Puts it on the floor. Oh! Attacked the closeout and just threw it hard.
That's a Tehran for 3. And there for the follow. Putback dunk is Kyle Wilcher. Flying in unchecked. You can see that Chavas was doing all he could to box out foul, but nobody prevented Kyle Wilcher. Right behind the back. Oh, big time 3. Kendrick Gray. And Dio 3 apagado. Kendrick Gray.
Go back inside. Holland knocks it away. Chance for building a run. Gives it up. Ramo in transition. Oh! Spiked it and said, take that. Jerusalem trying to break open the game here.
Dijon with Holston. Oh, what a play! Gildesley, and has the ball knocked away. A good play by Tascarine. It's going to be an easy one. It's going to be Nick Johnson. A Whirlybird special. Nice 360 from Nick Johnson. Look at this. You don't get many chances to have a 360.
Well, what a great first half it's been here in this last quarterfinal of the Basketball Champions League Final 8 here in Athens. These two teams trading blows, and of course these two men, Marcelino Huertas and Giorgio Shermadini, both being honored as members of the Star 5, the competition's top 5 players, richly deserved. I don't think anybody would dispute that. It just shows how good Iberostar Tenerife have been to have two players of that ilk and those types of performances on a weekly basis. Really, they have been outstanding. And congratulations to them. As we mentioned, Dylan Ennis made the second Star 5 for the Basketball Champions League for Zaragoza. So, Mark, the winner is going to advance to face Ike. And, you know, I think all of the teams have a chance to kind of grow in a tournament like this. But I think that one thing that perhaps we would agree on is that in Spain, they have the advantage of having had 3 tough games already, all of the teams that are here. And I think it's reflected in their play. So I think whoever wins this game, that will bode well for them going up against Ike.
Oh, Jeff, absolutely, because on top of those 3 competitive games, they would have had pre-season, and normally the scenario in Spain is they will have like regional pre-season tournaments. So they're probably now on the back of getting towards 8, 9 games, of which the last 3 have been competitive. Tenerife have obviously had the additional last 16 game. There is no substitute for full-blown competitive games, and so they come here with an advantage that I think has been clear to see, with all 3 Spanish teams playing very, very well right off the bat. You've got to combine that. You've got to then consider that against the fact that Ike have now had a really competitive game and come out with a win, so they'll progress and be better for that. So that really does set up some semi-finals that are going to be at a great level. And Dijon, the other semi-finalists, are already playing French League basketball. They've had a last 16 game themselves. So by the time we get to the semi-finals, we should have 4 teams ready to play.
Yeah, Dijon winning against Asvel in their first game and winning that round of 16 game, as you mentioned, against Nizhny Novgorod. As far as this one goes, you know, not many secrets. Both coaches know each other well. The players know each other well. They've played each other already once this season. I mean, what in the world will these coaches do to try to get to the finish line and to get into that semifinal? I mean, can they try anything different?
Well, I think the issue that both coaches have got, they could try something different. Be that maybe they might switch, maybe they might trap, maybe they might look at trying to force things in a different direction in terms of the ball. But both teams are so experienced, and both teams have guards that make great decisions, that I think it's more of a case of, you know, picking your poison and saying that when Shermadini rolls and when Huertas comes off the screen, what do we want to give them? Do we want to make Huertas be a scorer? Because that's what Ostend tried to do in the round of 16, and for a while it worked, and then Huertas just went off for 6 or 8 unanswered points, and in a low-scoring game, Tenerife got the advantage. Ostend kept Shermadini pointless, no field goal for nearly over 3/4 of the game. You know, it's picking your poison. I think that's what I'm going to be interested to see, which either coaches decided to do. What are they going to offer Zaragoza? What are they going to offer Tenerife? As this is how, if you're going to beat us, we want you to beat us this way. Conversely, I think for Tenerife, Huertas is going to have the ball. Shermadini is going to be a factor. Be interesting to see how much defense Jason Thompson is able to put on Shermadini. I think they're going to have to play on one-on-one with Thompson. With everybody else, I think they may have to double down on Shermadini and ask someone else to score. That could be where the game really sort of starts to revolve, about how they're going to guard Shermadini. Are they going to ask Tenerife to shoot the 3 and make the 3, because that's what they want to do, or are they going to try and go Thompson one-on-one with Shermadini? That'll be an interesting look at the start of this second half.
Well, the Basketball Champions League was in full flow. It was a terrific 4th season when the coronavirus pandemic halted play, and you know, nobody really knew what was going to happen. But the organizers, the Basketball Champions League, had some high-level talks and with the clubs, and everybody decided, you know what, we need to try to finish this thing off, and we can still do this if we do it safely. Let's listen to Coach Chus Figueroa.
Okay, we are controlling the fast break points, but we need even to improve in defensive and offensive rebounds. And of course, we need more players to win a great team like Zaragoza.
That was quite a long interview for Coach Villarueda, Jeff.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was expecting like 1 second.
I thought he would have stopped after we've controlled the fast break and walked away, but he's absolutely right about the rebound, though. He's going to need more guys on the glass. At the moment, if Guerra's in the game, if Borges is in the game, he really does need Kavanagh. He needs Dornicamp to help Shermadini on the glass. They need to control the ball. Same thing applies, though, to excuse me, to Zaragoza. Because neither team is really, well, it's the same thing we've been saying the whole of halftime. Neither team has established a real advantage in any aspect of the game. Interesting that Thompson doesn't start the second half. That's a big call. And maybe they're going to try and rotate Thompson into the game when Shermadini sits to try and get a bigger advantage. And Hubassan will, well, I hope he tries to play physical on it and see what result he gets.
Yeah, very interesting strategy indeed. Now Brasino back in the game again. And Benzing follows up his miss, takes the foul, and he's got a chance for a three-point play.
You can't say enough good things about Robin, can you? His job is to catch it and shoot it. Poor shot, just got after the rebound. No one boxed him out. And those are the things that Coach Villarueda is talking about. He expects Tyler Kavanagh to box out so that Tenerife can control that rebound situation.
So what a start to the second half for Zaragoza. The Robin Benzing three-point play. Now Salim and Suleiman out and running. Benzing gets it to Brasino. That's the man they want to get going, and there he goes, the three-pointer.
Well, that ball's missing for the first half, that extra pass to a shooter. And Brasino shows Zaragoza what they've been missing.
Meanwhile, Dornicamp, the veteran, answers. Benzing has Kavanagh on his right hip, then he puts it up. Now Huertas. Huertas pulls up and can't get it to drop. Hasn't been quite as precise tonight with his shooting as we've been accustomed to. Now the beautiful drive in the basket by Suleiman.
Well, this could be the second
three-point play. That is taking it right at Shermadini.
Yeah, absolutely. Great start by Zaragoza. They've been the aggressor. Benzing's early shot went after the rebound. They penetrated. They kicked to Brasino the extra pass. Now Suleiman's gone to the basket. Great start to Zaragoza. It's all about being the aggressor.
Shermadini must be thinking, I've done all this hard work, and here we are trailing by 5 points already. Here he is spinning, hands it off to Kavanagh, hesitated, now he turns it over to Suleiman. Quickly up ahead to Ennis, who gets in, takes the bump. Good no call, I think, by the ref.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. No foul at all.
Salim quickly to Kavanagh, shares it with Shermadini again. They're going to call the 3 seconds.
That's great again. The defense from Zaragoza, the initial help, the rotation and the scramble, really get back in the game, swarming around the basketball, generate the turnover. They couldn't have wanted a better start. The 5th turnover for Tenerife. They're down 5, and Zaragoza have real momentum in these first 2 minutes.
Suleiman playing his best basketball of the game right now. Now Ennis. Ennis has it taken away, though, by Shermadini. Well, that's a mistake. You can't allow that to happen.
Shermadini at the moment doing it all, because that's, 40 feet from the hoop, looking to really be aggressive on the pick, generates the turnover. Kavanaugh quite rightly frustrated. No, that's right, Jeff.
Yeah, definitely. Huertas. And just like that, Huertas makes it a three-point game. Yeah, Kavanaugh had a couple of chances where he could have just taken the shot himself, but perhaps, I think you alluded to it earlier, Tenerife always looking to make that extra pass. Now Ennis, and a couple of suspect possessions for him. And all of a sudden, Tenerife with a chance to go back.
Benzing's shot gets the rebound. Penetration down the middle by Suleiman. Their penetration to the kick. Ennis then turns it over and then takes a shot off nothing early in the set. If it's not broke, why try and change it? Get it, be as strong, stay with what's working.
Oh, good, strong catch by Brasino, who then goes up and scores. Huertas to Dornekamp. Will it be another one? Boy, remember in the round of 16 decider, he really struggled with that shot, but he has not struggled tonight.
No, not at all. That's his second one from that spot in this third quarter.
Ennis to Linnison. Now Linnison brings it back to Ennis. Oh, now he tries to get it to Linnison, but he couldn't catch it. Right idea, just couldn't complete the play. Now, drilling it, nope. Saline off target, but another opportunity. Huerta starting to show signs of life. He misses. Now Diaz for three. Mark, you can't give a team like this 2 or 3 chances.
No, and it's like it's a shooting drill for them, because you get the rebound, there's too much traffic, kick it out. That's the drill, that's the shot you practice. But there's another example. If Zaragoza want to get the win here, keep taking it down the gut of that defense, because at the moment Tenerife can't contain the penetration. So Ennis is like a couple of bad possessions, Jeff. He's forgotten those now. He's back where he's on the same page as everyone else. Let's attack. Let's force Tenerife to rotate. Let's try and get them in a scramble situation and get the high percentage shot.
Well, Ennis is out. Huertas is out. San Miguel back in the game. Fittipaldo in. And Linnison goes up for another board. Quick outlet. Benzing a little bit of getting wrapped up there with Dornekamp. Oh, good pass, Brasino to Linnison. And there's not going to be any shots allowed as Zaragoza appeal for a unsportsmanlike.
I think everybody had a go at the ball there. I'd be surprised if that was anything but just a normal shooting foul. They're going to look at it, but in the slow-mo anyway, it didn't look anything untoward to me. That's an attempt at the ball. They're both going at the ball.
Normal speed. Let's go with normal speed.
Yeah, no, there's not going to be an unsportsmanlike called.
For me,
on this one.
Because this, look, okay, he grab and then he listen, he keep with the arm. So for me, we have to upgrade.
Oh, really?
Just on the 42.
Oh, so wait,
and
he's
the
saying
shooter is number
he
32.
spotted him with
red. Okay, you will.
Yeah,
the
he
arm.
held on to the arm. Yeah. Wow.
Okay. Well spotted by Glizic.
Now, we wouldn't have seen that. That's, again, a great use of the technology, isn't it?
Yeah. Alexander has the benefit of having done this a lot, so I accept that I was not right on that.
They're going to take that referee's shirt off you, Jeff.
And Dornekamp, yes. Dornekamp has a few words, but they will fall on deaf ears, I would imagine, as Helenissen gets 1 of 2 and pushes Zaragoza's lead to 2 points. San Miguel, oh, look at him go! Rodrigo San Miguel.
Both teams just
having a great
game. Yeah, super game by San Miguel, but both teams no help. Guard your man, keep him out.
And boy, Zaragoza sending bodies to the boards right now. Especially you see with Shermadini not in. And now to Lenison. He's got 8 points, and look, he catches it high and he keeps it up, and that's what Ocampo was saying. Don't bring it down. Sorry, he's got 9 points because of the free throw. Now Fittipaldo, and again, Zaragoza boxing out. And how long will Shermadini stay out of the game? Because when he comes back in, he's probably going to face Thompson. There is Seeley. Oh, they missed an easy one, but there for the follow was Brasino. And Zaragoza pushed their lead to 8 points. Alarm bells may be starting to ring in Tenerife.
Jeff, it's now about Zaragoza sharing the ball because Fittipaldo's come in and he's put up 2 or 3 shots with no one else touching it, no real execution of anything. And total dominance on the glass. Yeah, you've called that throughout the last 4 or 5 possessions. They are just cleaning house on the glass. Let's go listen to Coach Videoretta.
Vas a jugar dado de 1 también, ¿vale? Dado de 1 también. La primera, quiero que juegues con Aaron. Que está de 3 para mano a mano. Y a ver si vas a atacar el reject. Mejor en este lado, Aaron. Pero en this side. Tu ataque reject. ¿Vale? Hand off. Go out. And you up. ¿Vale? Ahí, si no, el bloqueo con Bowie. Chicos, no es cambio.
Casademont Zaragoza.
Well, that man, Jeff, Rodrigo San Miguel is having just one of those nights where he's scoring so many more opportunities than he would normally get. And he's recognizing the way the defense is being played, getting to the basket and shooting the open shot. He's been phenomenal. Thompson joins the game as well now for Zaragoza, so really looking to push home the advantage.
So great work by Helenissen, who goes to the bench, and now Thompson, with Shermadini still out of the game. And the hands are up by Brasino. 13 minutes left. I'm not sure that even now you would bet against Iberostar Tenerife with all that experience. But Zaragoza have given themselves a great chance building this lead here late in the 3rd quarter. Oh, and then Fittipaldo just loses control of it as he gets down low. He had really a great start to the game, but just has not been the same here in this 3rd quarter. And don't forget how well Suleiman played too, Mark. He was terrific. So Dornicamp this time called for the foul, trying to get into position there against Thompson. Trying to deny him the ball. Into the corner to San Miguel. He gives, oh, look at the bounce back. Look at the interplay between the two. And Thompson, if he'd made that, that would have been on the highlight reel. That was terrific basketball by Zaragoza.
And that shows you how confident Rodrigo San Miguel is at the moment. Off balance, throws it to Thompson, gets it back. Could have taken something himself. Saw Thompson. I think he was expecting Thompson to go a little bit more aggressive down the lane, but enjoying himself on the floor. And at the moment, he's pretty much controlling the show.
Here he is chasing Huertas. And the hands are up, and the turnover on Huertas. Now the pass up ahead to Brasino, who's going to go in. He's going to pass it out to Benzing. And there for the follow is Thompson. The lead now 10 points.
Defense from Zaragoza in every passing lane. Just a great defensive effort.
Fittipaldo gets a little bit of space. Brasino with the rebound and the outlet pass. And a little bit of contact there. Now Tenerife. The well is dry for Tenerife right now. Fittipaldo.
Oh, if you're that coach at Campo, you are not feeling great about that. You've really got Tenerife on the rack. You said it, that the well has dried up. They can't buy anything. And then Fittipaldo, who's on that shot, would have gone to 20% on the game. He'd have gone 2 for 8. And you foul the three-point jump shot. And inside, he won't want to show any emotion now, Coach Ocampo, but inside he's just beating himself up because his team was really in the ascendancy. Fittipaldo's got to make the three, but if he makes these three, all of a sudden, you know, Tenerife get that little bit of a respite, they get that little bit of a bonus, and they feel like they're back in it. And for the last minute 19, you know Tenerife will try and make things happen and make this something like a 5-6 point game at the end of the third, and that one little mistake by Zaragoza could give real opportunity for Tenerife to get right back in here.
And look who's back in the game, Shermadini. So Fittipaldo redeems himself a little bit with those 3 free throws. And now, can Zaragoza maintain this advantage at least heading into that last quarter? And they turn the basketball over. Barreto not able to catch it.
That's the first time in the last 4 or 5 possessions where they've gone backwards, where they've come down the floor and not really tried to turn the corner and attack it. Shermadini's back in the game. That's a big, hard show on the screen. And all of a sudden, they've got a chance to cut it.
Hellenson's come back in. I don't know if that's to defend precisely, or they get the defense, they get the play. Now Sealy goes back to Suleiman. Oh boy, he just runs right into Sasu Saline, who takes one for the team.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a 2-on-1 where you think, hey, they're going to re-establish the lead, and Salin just plants himself outside the charge circle. And that's just a big-time play. That's all the play it was.
It's interesting, isn't it? You know, Sasu Saline, you can see that Suleiman got his bell rung on that as well. When you think Sasu Saline, you think about those 3-pointers. But that is the sign of a true pro right there, taking it for the team. And now Huertas goes in, and sure enough, the momentum changing right here at the end of the quarter. Well, the pass went off the underside of the rim. Barreto, boy, what a tough drive by him. Good positive play.
Strong finish.
Well, that was an important basket. They needed something.
Absolutely huge, Jeff.
And now the rule is a turnover is an offensive foul. Well, Iberostar Tenerife are beside themselves. Watch this.
Yeah, they're going to call Huertas for that push-off, but like Suleiman led on him. I can't believe there's not a couple of texts being thrown here because the descent by everybody.
They have called a technical. They just called a technical on Vidoretta. And perhaps justice prevails on that one with that miss.
Not sure about the call at all, but Huertas and everybody was up in arms on the call.
Well, we'd have to see another angle, really. I mean, but there was definitely contact, but even so, Lennison goes out, Thompson back in. And Suleiman, they get Vasily, but, Thompson did not come back in, but not able to get a shot off, and they are still stewing about the foul and the technical. But it's 63-56. Casademont Zaragoza on top of Iberostar Tenerife with a quarter to play.
Well, Zaragoza have only 27% from the three-point line, but that's not where they've done the damage. They've been aggressive. They've attacked the basket, and that was how they built the lead. And for a moment, they lost control, and for a moment, Tenerife got the momentum going back the other way. And then the call at the end just sort of, pretty much it's a messy end to the third quarter, but Zaragoza have put themselves in a great position, but they have to maintain that style that saw them attack the basket, whether it be on the dribble or the pass, and not settle for the jump shot off the dribble too early in the set. They, as the aggressor, they really did challenge that Tenerife defense and broke it down a lot. No one better than this guy, Rodrigo San Miguel, gets to the basket on that occasion, but was just phenomenal in that third quarter.
I just love San Miguel for the intensity that he brings. And I think that Brasino really is, I would love to see him in full flow. I think the consistency is the problem that he faces on a game-to-game basis, and the continued development of Lennison is really a joy to watch. But with San Miguel, you're going to get 100% defense. I mean, he will do anything defensively to help you. And there are games that he has like this where he really does contribute offensively.
Yep. Well, he was good in the ACB game, had double-digit points. Obviously likes playing against Tenerife. Feels comfortable having spent time there. And well, if you'd have offered Coach Ocampo a lead going into the fourth quarter against arguably the most experienced Basketball Champions League team there is in Tenerife, he would have bitten your hand off for it, because his team now, with the 7-point advantage, has a real opportunity to make the semi-final if they stay aggressive. If they share the ball, they've got a real chance. Their defense has been tremendous because it's been aggressive, because it's been very much staying in stance and protecting the penetration and not getting broken down.
So Huertas now brings it forward for Iberostar Tenerife. We also have Shermadini in the game, and he puts it up and misses with his first attempt. Seeley to Thompson. Wide open Barreto. And I really admire Barreto coming in and not being afraid to try to make plays.
Absolutely. And look at the effort again, though. unusually to see Tenerife standing still while their opponent goes to work on the glass.
Good play there by Dornekamp, stepping right in front of Thompson to get the charge. You still think in this situation that with all that experience, the number of times that Tenerife have been in these spots, they are not going to crumble mentally. You have got to keep playing at your best if you're Zaragoza, if you're going to have a chance to beat this team.
So right. That's absolutely so right.
Saline. There's Shermadini, the offensive rebound. Takes his time, but Thompson won that battle. And now Suleiman brings it up. Huertas was trying to draw the charge. Brasino off the back of the iron. Look at Barreto again making a big play. It may not be pretty, but it is effective. Sealy. And now Huertas guilty of the push. Diaz strikes me as a player that potentially could give a lot more, and I don't know if he's just, if it's a numbers thing for him.
Oh, I think Jeff, he started from the fact he's got good size and can really has great touch and can shoot the ball. He could get more on the glass, definitely.
And Suleiman misses, but I guess to get him in the game, you have to take Dornekamp out.
Yep.
And Dornekamp is pretty important for this Tenerife team.
If that's Thompson, that's his fourth foul. I mean, he is a little bit of a foul magnet. You know, he's rolled over two people, and just a bit more control, and he wouldn't have picked up the foul.
Well, you really feel like watching this Zaragoza team. They're constructing their team in the right manner. Got some good young players. They've brought in some exciting talent. Some hardcore veterans like San Miguel. Saline launches it too long, and that is going to be Zaragoza basketball.
Jeff, you know, when we watched Dijon play in the quarterfinal last night, and we commented then that their quickness defensively, the way they were breaking up, what Telecom were doing, Zaragoza are doing that at the same type of thing, but on a much higher level, because they're playing against a team that's probably a higher level team, probably has better offensive options. And they're just man for man, containing the dribble, containing their guy, one pass away, they're contesting the passing lane. It's just a really solid performance all round.
Yet they haven't been able to really grow that lead, and now Iberostar Tenerife cut it back to 5. But Barreto drives in and answers. Tenerife slow getting back on defense.
And you never thought you'd say that. That's not the team that normally does that. Oh.
Ah, boy, Huertas now. It's time. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. And Fittipaldo. Wow, they've called an offensive foul on Ennis for kind of clearing out. Oh, no, they called technical. Watch this again. Oh, for
simulation?
acting like he'd been fouled.
Oh.
That's a tough call.
That's a very, very
Unless that's a point of emphasis.
Unless they've warned him for it before, which we might not have picked up, you know, but they missed a free throw. If Fittipaldo's having one of those games he's going to want to forget, but it's...
Yeah, maybe that was one of those justice prevails situations.
Yeah, they may have warned him early in the game. That's the only thing I can see.
And now it's really starting to get a little testy out there. Shermanidi called for the foul, the push.
San Miguel does a great job.
Yeah, that's the type of game that San Miguel wants to play.
Yeah. You know, why not draw the foul? Draw the foul like that.
Seeley, boy, he goes in amongst the trees. There's Barreto. Boy, what an X factor he's turned out to be.
Well, the rebound numbers continue to grow in favor of Zaragoza. This is outworking Tenerife on the glass.
And that was a point of emphasis for Chus Vidoreta. He said we have to do well in the rebounds. Shermadini, meanwhile, gets 2 back. Fascinating encounter here between 2 Spanish teams. The winner will advance to face Ike in the semifinals of the Basketball Champions League. San Miguel for 3! Have a rethink, won't you, folks? This guy used to play for you when you won the title. And Huertas goes down in a heap, holding his left shoulder. So Huertas gets in front of Ennis. And I don't think there's any issue that you can take with Ennis on that occasion. And San Miguel, again, having one of his best games at the right time.
Well, he goes into double-digit points. He's 2 for 4 from the 3-point line. It's almost his attitude as well as his performance.
Mark, there's still 6.5 minutes. There's a long way to go in this one, and Huertas answers. Almost a quiet 13 points for Marcelino Huertas. Lennison comes up and sets the pick on Dornicamp. Here's San Miguel. Just keep playing, they say, and Dornicamp comes down. 1 shot and out, though, for Tenerife.
There's just no black shirt crashing the glass, and Coach Vidoreta said it at the half. They've got to control the rebounds. It's the one place they're poorest at the moment.
Boy, what was Ennis doing there, making a very difficult pass to San Miguel. And I don't know who's at fault. Was San Miguel supposed to be in that spot?
No, I think
they turned the ball over.
Yeah, Ennis trying to force the issue when they haven't been trying to force the issue. They've been taking good decisions for most of the second half.
Now, Lennison fouls Shermadini. You can see this is just a real, almost slugfest here as these teams try to get to the finish line.
And Zaragoza in the penalty now with 5.5 minutes to go. Tenerife still have fouls to give. That could be crucial if this gets a little, if the referees start to call it tight because they want to keep control of it. Tenerife in a really good situation then to, as long as they make their throws, as Shermadini does.
Well, I suppose the good news for Zaragoza is that Helenson only has 1 foul, whereas Thompson on the bench has 4. But the bad news is their lead has been cut to 3 points. Timeout on the floor, 5:25 remaining.
The first quarters of the game. Ball Iberostar Tenerife with 18 points.
Rodri, Angioni, Amén. Rodri, recibes. DJ, when the ball goes, go here. Trata de pasarle, ¿sí? Vale. También cuando vienes aquí, Johnny, cortas al medio. This triangle. If not, that triangle, and we go. En el pick and roll, has to be higher. A little bit higher. Because if you are higher, they have more time. But desde más arriba.
Well, Jeff,
so the pick and roll, I guess he's talking about Helenissen.
Yeah, if they go pick and roll,
the top of the key.
Sciamadini in the game, Jeff. Tenerife have been very effective in the hard show. He wanted to play it higher, but that almost encourages Sciamadini and Tenerife to get after that pick and roll because they can recover. And they've had a lot of success at really attacking that pick and roll. So it'd be interesting to see if the Zaragoza can execute it well enough. They've just got to find the open man. Tenerife will rotate away from the other side of the floor, so if they ball reverse, they should have an open shooter, but they do a really good job at rotating out of the pick.
Sealy felt the contact coming, so he puts it up, and he's going to get a couple of shots. No, they're going to say that it was before the shot, excuse me. The winner advances to face Ike in tomorrow's semifinals. And it goes to Helenissen, and he goes up for the dunk, and he's fouled, I believe, by Sciamadini.
That'll be Sciamadini's full foul, I think. As Huertas was someone, and it was Huertas, the man on the weak side, should have helped Sciamadini until he got there, and he just didn't rotate to help him. Hence the easy pass to the inside, and Sciamadini is going to have to play the last 5 with 4, unless they take him out with the 4 fouls.
Mark, we talk about Sciamadini being a constant problem for other teams, but Helenissen now, with that, has 11 points, 5 rebounds, and he's becoming a problem. I mean, you're talking about a couple of big, decent low post players here for Zaragoza with Thompson and Helenissen.
Well, Tenerife have gone without a 5. You know, they've gone with Kavanagh and Dornicamp. So they've gone a little small. And a lot of shooting potential.
Fittipaldo goes in, and San Miguel commits the foul with 4:54 remaining.
Fittipaldo offensively has
panic.
2 for 10, Jeff. And he's struggling. He's going to have to go to the free throw line to earn them. He's a good free throw shooter. He's got to find a way to get back in a positive place. No better place than on the free throw line for a good free throw shooter.
Well, he was 5 of 7 from the line tonight before that attempt. So now he goes to 6 of 8, 75%. I mean, he's a quality player, make no mistake about it.
Oh yeah.
He just hasn't had a great half. Now Benzing going up against Kavanaugh. And boy, he made that look easy, didn't he? Robin Benzing, the Germany international, with 4.5 minutes remaining, has given Zaragoza a 74-68 lead.
Kavanagh's got to be a bit more physical than that. That's just, Benzing just destroyed him, really. Got anything he wanted.
This time Barreto fouls Dornicamp. So he gives away the 2 free throws to Aaron Dornicamp.
This could become a free throw shooting competition now that both teams in the penalty. And both teams trying to spread the floor, so there's going to be a lot of opportunities for people to attack the ring.
Tenerife 8 of 12 from the line tonight. Dornicamp has not attempted a free throw. So Fittipaldo has taken most of the attempts tonight, and he's 6 of 9. Now the look from Chus Villarueda is not so much one of panic, but certainly alarm. He knows that this is going down to the wire, but you know, we've been talking about this from the start. This is not a game that's going to be over until the very last. You can write it down.
It's so important here that Zaragoza stay with what was being successful. They've got to be aggressive on the dribble and don't settle for the too early jump shots. Yeah. If they get it off what they're running, fine, but not threes like that. Never got the ball below the foul line extended. Everything in front of the defense, nothing in rhythm.
Casademont turns, goes up, and he's got a chance for a three-point play. And that's how big that miss was by Sealy. And that decision is, yeah, I mean, if you make it, it's three, but if you don't, you're looking at a potential 6-point swing.
And it's if you make the three off something you're trying to run, like they've been so good at penetrating and kicking, so people have got the opportunity to shoot the ball in some sort of rhythm. But Sealy just kept it and just took a tough one over the defense. Yeah, if he makes it, and he's a good player, and he's got a good chance to make it, but that's not how they've built the lead.
Well, Casademont does not capitalize on that opportunity, and Brasino swoops in for the rebound. See if they have a different approach this time. Yes, they do. They get it to Helenissen.
Jeff, he traveled. He traveled, he traveled, he traveled. It's a real shuffle at the feet. Coach Vidya was trying to call it. He's traveled even on the picture when we come back, you know, to the replay, but he traveled before then because he traveled in the traffic and didn't have the control. And maybe that's not the call the referee wants to make at this stage.
Suleiman, oh, rattles it in. Back to a 4-point edge.
Off the out-of-bounds play, get the double screen down. He gets it on the foul line. He's going to run it to shoot it. He's in rhythm.
And really a cheap foul for Suleiman to give away up high and put Huertas on the free throw line. Or it's going to be Shermadini that goes to the line.
Jeff, in all the years of the Basketball Champions League, I mean, I know I have covered them and you've covered them probably more than anybody else. Tenerife in these situations, you know they're going to execute whatever Coach Vidya wants. The key for Zaragoza is they've got to execute what Coach Ocampo has said. They've got to stay on the same page to get what they need down the end of this game.
Well, there you go. It's Brasino driving, and look what happens. Oh, Helenissen was there for the putback, but the ball simply would not go down.
Wow.
Now Tenerife can go back in front with a 3. Or they can tie it with a 2, and it goes to Shermadini. Boy, Bogus has been living and dying by every possession tonight, hasn't he, over there for Tenerife. Benzing launches a 3. And yeah, a great three-point shooter, but maybe in that situation, Mark, as you say, don't you want to put it on the deck and go hard to the basket?
And that's what he did earlier in the game when they closed him out hard like that.
Fittipaldo. Helenissen batted it away from Shermadini, and Zaragoza come back. Oh, look at the bounce pass. What a play. Boy, you can have no fault. Look at this. Beautiful pass by Sealy.
Compare that to the other end where we talk about Tenerife sharing the basketball, getting good options. Fittipaldo, no one else touched it. Hasn't shot the ball well all night, takes the poor 3. Shermadini can't compete that hard for it. He's in foul trouble. And down the other way, they get a 3-point play.
And you can see even the time before that when Helenissen was there for the tap, they were just unlucky. The ball didn't go down. So Brasino takes it now to a 3-point lead with 1:40 remaining. This is Marcelino Huerta's time. Surely. Surely Huertas has to be the one that creates. And no, they defend well. I think it was Brasino that fronted Shermadini to force the turnover.
Yeah, he fronted and it stayed, and they come up with a steal. Just a super job defensively. Sorry, Sealy rather did a great job.
And now just a needless pass by Suleiman.
Yep.
Turns it right over. Hands it off to Shermadini. He misses another one. Boy, you would have bet money on Shermadini making that shot, and he is fouled out of the game.
He's fouled out on a real ticky-tack going back the other way. There, foul on the rebound. No real attempt to get it. Hey, but Brasino has been fundamental, Jeff, to this last couple of minutes. The defense,
he really has.
He then does a great job.
Now what's happening here with Chus Vidarella and Shermadini?
They've just teed him, so it's his second tee. So he's gone.
Wow. They've teed up Vidarella. Or no, they've teed up Vidarella, right?
Hasn't come up, but that's what it looked like. I think
we're talking about unraveling at the worst possible time in this situation. That's almost unforgivable.
And there's still a minute to go.
Yeah,
still 54 seconds to go, and Vidarella has to leave. Yeah, maybe.
Chus Vidarella has been shown the door.
Yep. And maybe it was a little weak foul that maybe shouldn't have been called, but it was called. Therefore, let's move on. And there's still 54 seconds, and Tenerife have pulled out all sorts of victories in the past. They're now going to have to do it about their coach.
Well, Benzing takes it up to a 4-point lead.
Now they'll shoot the team fouls. The Brasino should shoot after the Shermadini foul. This is important. He makes both of these, and it's a 6-point game, 2-possession game with 54 seconds to go, and Zaragoza have the basketball. No, sorry, Tenerife will get the basketball. Well, it depends if he misses. If he makes, Tenerife get the basketball.
Well, that was a disastrous sequence for Iberostar Tenerife. Shermadini missing a shot that ordinarily you would expect him to make, although Helenissen had a hand in the face, and then immediately after being whistled for his 5th foul, Chus Vidarella taking grave exception to it. So let's listen in.
We're going to play. In the offensive score, 14 seconds, we're going to play 25. Okay, 25. That is 25 for Sasu. We keep the players who are playing, okay? We keep the players and we play 25. And after the shot, take care of the offensive rebound, good defensive transition, and defend, okay? We're going to be 3 down after 25. Okay?
So it's Marco Justo who has taken over as the coach now. Well, maybe this will be the making of him if he can engineer a little comeback here right at the end.
Well, you know, they're going to get the ball in the front court, and what he wants is he wants to shoot the ball, and he's then up the floor trying to get that stop. There's enough time. He's got to go early enough. There's enough time. Time isn't the issue if it all goes their way. They've got to get something quick out of bounds here. To get something quick.
You don't necessarily need a 3.
They need, absolutely. They need a quick one. If they can get a 3, then it's a 1-possession game and they're right in it. But they've got to go quick. And quite rightly, I think Zaragoza will foul.
Even so, though, it's going to put Saline on the line. Stops the clock.
But he makes both, Jeff, and it's still a 2-possession game. And there's still plenty of time, though. If he makes both 2-possession game, there's still plenty of time. If they get a stop, then they're right in it. More than enough time.
San Miguel has fouled out with that personal. And Saline makes good on the first. The fabulous Finn bends the knees and makes the second as well. And I guess at this point, you're not concerned about who shoots free throws well and who doesn't for Zaragoza. If you're Tenerife, you want to go for the steal, and if not, play defense. They get it up to Brasino, who's going to hold it. No, he's going to drive in. No need to foul.
No, there's enough time.
So Benzing has it. Can you believe they have fouled right at late in the shot clock?
Not at all. I have no idea why Fittipaldo even. If Benzing was going to score, then it's just going to go to the free throw line. Benzing, on his career, is an 80-plus, 90% free throw shooter. Now I know that's the kiss of death. He's probably going to go up and struggle, but.
Well, they had a mismatch, Mark, so it was a mismatch with Fittipaldo.
4 seconds, though, on the shot clock. If Benzing makes it, he makes it. He was trying to back him in. There was help. So if he turns around and makes the jump shot, he makes it. He's going to make 2 from the line. And it's ask him to make something that's under a little bit of pressure. If you were going to foul, they could have fouled a lot earlier than they ended up fouling. It's still going to be a 2-possession game, though. So, they make the 3, they've got a shot.
Yeah. And I'd assume they would go for the 3 on the next possession. But then again, Zaragoza may not give away any threes.
Yeah, they'll foul on the floor, and it'll be a 2-shot, and we'll be back where we were with a lot less time, unless they try and run something out of bounds to catch and shoot from beyond the 3-point line.
Well, I think for the
disappointing Jeff is the technical foul now, because that was a 2-shot. It was a technical foul, which creates an even bigger mountain for Tenerife to climb, because it would have been a single possession game after making the 2 free throws from Salin if it hadn't been for the technical foul. And as frustrating as it is for a coach, in this situation, there's still a game to win.
Well, that's a great point. I mean, you got to sometimes walk a fine line between being emotional and keeping your emotions in check, but only Vito Retta knows what he said. Only the referees know, and also maybe it was the remonstration. I'm sure Vito Retta has, this has happened before to most coaches, and it'll be interesting to see what he has to say after the game. Anyway, this game is still alive. 6 seconds, 6 points the difference, and there he is. Dornekamp hits the 3. That gives him some opportunities. Well, if they can get a steal.
They've got to shoot it, Jeff. There's more time. They've got to put something up.
Oh. Great catch by Seeley. And these Tenerife players are really going to put these referees under pressure here, aren't they? And Zaragoza are going to have to earn it at the line. Seeley, excuse me, takes his time and makes the first. They've had a good night shooting free throws. now over 80%, 20 of 25. Right at 80%, but he makes just one. Tenerife again, will they go for the three? Dornicamp has had the hot hand. He misses. The rebound, Suleiman and Zaragoza are going to advance to the semifinals of the Basketball Champions League. An incredibly famous moment for this proud basketball club. I'm not sure how many people would have expected them to beat the former champions, but they have come out, and really their approach in the second half was outstanding. They win it 87-81 over Iberostar Tenerife. There was a steely determination tonight, Mark, about this Zaragoza approach, and it was embodied, you know, in the play of especially San Miguel. You know, all credit to them. And Suleiman, I mean, they came out and they just were not going to give in.
Especially in that second half. Especially in the second half, Jeff, because they dominated all the areas of the game which are more physical and just hard work, which is something that Tenerife normally do. You know, they controlled the glass, and Coach Villarreal said that his team, Tenerife, needed to do it. Zaragoza just dominated that part of the game in the second half. 43-33 on the glass, 12 offensive rebounds, and just dominance in the second half in particular. The other thing, Brasino's performance, it won't necessarily show up in points, but his performance in the second half in what he offered, 12 points all in the second half, though it does show up in the points. Just so shows the thing you said, how important he is to this team. And he was phenomenal in that second half, as was every one of those Zaragoza players on the glass.
Well, we look back at some of these plays, and boy, that was, I think, without question, the most competitive of all the games that we have seen so far. And not surprisingly, they know each other. Already this season, Iberostar Tenerife had beaten. But when you see players like Barrero come out and play so positively the way that he did, with such a positive approach, and it just was contagious the way that everybody played. Nobody was sitting back and letting things happen, and it was all hands on deck tonight for Zaragoza. There were moments when you would have expected Iberostar Tenerife maybe to open things up, and Zaragoza and Coach Diego Ocampo, all credit to them. They refused to really doubt themselves. They backed themselves from the very beginning. So congratulations to them.
And, you know, let's talk about it from that perspective, Jeff, because the headlines will be about Villarreal perhaps being ejected. And there might be some headlines about the officials, but I thought the officials had no bearing on the outcome of the game. So let's talk the fact that Zaragoza, San Miguel on this highlight from the three-point line, they got to the basket, they shared the basketball, but as I say, they just dominated the glass. And it's a cliche in this game, if you win the battle of the boards, you normally win the game. But it's people use that cliche because it's often true. And, you know, Benzin got shots when he needed to. Brasino was so good in the second half. Suleiman came out, and that shot in particular summed it up. That's off of an out-of-bounds play where he came off screens, and they stayed on the same page for large chunks of the second half. They lost their way a little bit, which allowed Tenerife to get back in it. But they deserved everything they got out of the game. They worked harder.
Well, they out-rebounded them 43-33, as you said. Just a great effort. So Ike winning it 94-82 over Aerobasketball Nymburk. They will face Casademont Zaragoza, who win 87-81 over Iberostar Tenerife. For Mark Clark, I'm Jeff Taylor. Get ready for tomorrow, folks. It's semifinal days in the Basketball Champions League.